Then, a soft creak echoes through the barn, startling everyone slightly. It's a reminder that nothing stays hidden forever. Secrets, like shadows, always emerge eventually. Amy's hand trembles slightly as she reaches for the letter that had fallen earlier. It's the one that could reveal truths long buried. Ty notices stepping closer instinctively, his presence a steady anchor. The quiet of the ranch becomes almost unbearable now, a calm so fragile it feels like the world is holding its breath. And in this delicate, charged silence, the first spark of confrontation begins to ignite. Promising an emotional storm that no one on Heartland will forget, the stage is set. The pieces are in place, and the calm before the storm signals one undeniable truth. Tonight, hearts will be tested, truths will be revealed, and the bonds of family and love will face their greatest challenge yet. As the moonlight flickers across the barn walls, the anticipation is almost unbearable. The moment everyone has been waiting for is only seconds away. The lanterns flicker in the barn, casting dancing shadows across the wooden beams. Every movement seems magnified, every glance loaded with unspoken tension. Amy finally opens the letter, the paper trembling slightly in her hands. Her breath catches as she reads the words, each sentence striking her like a small earthquake. This is the moment she has feared and anticipated all at once, the truths that have been whispered, hinted at, and carefully avoided are now staring her directly in the face. Ty steps closer, his eyes scanning her face for a reaction, his heart pounding in silent synchrony with hers. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" Amy whispers, almost to herself, almost to the world. Her voice shakes, raw with hurt, confusion, and disbelief. The barn feels smaller suddenly, like the walls are closing in, echoing the intensity of the emotions flooding the space. Ty's hand hovers near hers, unsure if reaching out will comfort or complicate things further. He knows this moment is critical, not just for Amy, but for everyone on Heartland. Every word, every gesture now carries the weight of consequences that could ripple through the ranch for years. Jack and Lou approach slowly, their faces lit by the soft glow of the lanterns. Lou's brow is furrowed, her eyes sharp, sensing that what Amy has discovered is bigger than a simple misunderstanding. Jack's hands are tucked into his pockets, his body tense, as though he is preparing for the emotional impact that is about to unfold. Even Georgie, usually full of chatter and life, is silent. Her hands clasped tightly together as she watches the scene unravel. Every character is on edge, caught in the gravity of a revelation that feels both inevitable and shocking. The silence stretches, heavy and electric, broken only by the soft shuffle of boots on the barn floor and the occasional restless snort of a nearby horse. Amy's voice breaks again as she turns to Ty, her eyes wide, searching. "I thought I knew everything, but this changes everything." Ty swallows hard, the weight of the truth pressing down on him. He finally speaks, his voice steady, but filled with emotion. "I never wanted you to find out like this, but some things can't stay hidden forever." The atmosphere in the barn is charged, almost alive. The moonlight filters through the open doors, illuminating the tension etched into every face. Shadows flicker across Amy's features, highlighting the inner conflict hurt. Betrayal, fear, and a flicker of hope all tangled together. Jack steps closer, his voice calm but firm. "We all made mistakes this season, but tonight is about facing them. We can't move forward until the truth is out." Lou nods slowly, her eyes never leaving Amy, silently urging her to confront what she now knows. Even the ranch seems to respond to the intensity of the moment. A gust of wind rattles the barn doors, rustling the hay, almost like nature itself is emphasizing the storm of emotions inside. The horses shift nervously in their stalls, sensing the tension that hangs thick in the air. Each character is on the edge, teetering between confrontation and reconciliation, fear and courage, silence and confession. Amy's hands shake as she folds the letter, her eyes darting between Ty, Jack, and Lou. Every second feels stretched, every heartbeat amplified. The truth has been revealed, but its impact is only beginning. In this charged silence, the first sparks of conflict ignite, setting the stage for the emotional storm that will define the final moments of season 19. No one on Heartland is untouched by this revelation, and every relationship is about to be tested in ways that will leave lasting marks on the ranch and on their hearts. The tension in the barn has become almost unbearable. Every glance, every subtle movement carries the weight of truths that have long been buried. Amy's chest rises and falls rapidly, her heart caught between anger, hurt, and disbelief. The letter in her hand feels like a burning brand, a symbol of everything hidden this season. Ty stands just a step behind her, his jaw tight, fists clenched, his eyes locked on hers, partly to reassure, partly to brace for the inevitable eruption of emotions. Why did you all hide this from me? Amy's voice cracks, echoing through the wooden beams of the barn. Each word hits like a thunderclap, reverberating through the space. Ty steps closer, trying to calm her, but the storm in her eyes is impossible to contain. Lou, usually a pillar of composure, steps forward, her own frustration evident. Amy, we thought we were protecting you, she exclaims, her voice trembling with emotion. Jack moves to the side, his hands in his pockets. Watching the confrontation unfold with a mixture of concern and helplessness, the tension is thick, almost visible, like smoke curling around every figure in the room. Georgie shifts nervously near the barn doors, uncertain where to stand, yet unable to look away. She senses the emotional tipping point approaching, and knows that once words start flying, there will be no turning back. Even the horses in the nearby stalls are restless, stamping the ground as if mirroring the turmoil inside. Every sound, the creak of the floorboards, the rustle of hay, the distant whisper of wind feels magnified, contributing to a crescendo of suspense. Ty finally speaks, his voice low but steady. We didn't mean to hurt you, Amy, but the truth. It's messy and it's complicated. His words hang in the air, almost pleading. Amy shakes her head, tears welling in her eyes. Complicated? This isn't just complicated, it's betrayal. I trusted all of you, and now I don't even know what to think. Her voice rises with emotion, filled with both pain and disbelief. Shaking the barn with the intensity of her words, Lou steps closer, placing a hand gently on Amy's shoulder, trying to bridge the distance that has formed between them. Amy, listen. None of us wanted this to happen like this. But we can't change the past. We can only face it and figure out the future together. Jack nods solemnly, his gaze softening as he meets Amy's eyes. He knows the weight of responsibility he carries as the ranch's anchor. And yet even he can feel the fragility of the moment. For a heartbeat, silence falls again. The storm of emotions is paused, hanging like a cloud before the next gust of wind. Amy lowers the letter slowly, her fingers trembling, and meets Ty's gaze. There's hurt, yes, but there's also a flicker of something else: trust. Love, and the recognition that tonight every word, every choice, every confrontation matters. The ranch itself seems to hold its breath, the barns and fences bathed in silver moonlight, as if the land is silently witnessing this monumental emotional turning point. Then, almost imperceptibly, a new energy enters the room. The first cracks of reconciliation appear, subtle gestures that hint at hope amid the chaos. Ty reaches for Amy's hand, hesitantly, carefully, signaling that despite the turmoil, connection remains. Lou exhales slowly, stepping back but remaining close, ready to support. Jack's shoulders relax slightly, the weight of the confrontation tempered by the awareness that the emotional storm, while fierce, is necessary for healing. And Georgie, still on the edge, lets out a small breath, sensing that change is possible even in the most difficult moments. This is Heartland at its core, love tested, relationships strained, and the ranch itself a witness to every triumph and heartbreak. Section 5 captures the raw intensity of human emotion, showing that even when hearts are wounded and secrets are revealed, there is still room for courage, honesty, and connection. The confrontation doesn't end here, it simmers, setting the stage for the ultimate resolution that will define the final scene of Season 19. The barn feels alive with every unspoken word, every pause, every heartbeat. The moonlight now streams in through the open doors, illuminating faces etched with tension, love, fear, and hope. Amy stands at the center, the letter clutched in one hand, her shoulders trembling under the weight of what she has just discovered. Every fiber of her being wants to lash out, to demand answers, to run, to cry, but she doesn't. The ranch has taught her that in moments like this. Courage is not about avoiding pain, it's about facing it. Ty steps forward, his eyes never leaving hers. He takes a deep breath, steadying himself, as if preparing for a leap into the unknown. Amy, whatever happens tonight, we face it together, he says, his voice low but unwavering. The words hang in the air, resonating with a sincerity that can't be ignored. Amy's eyes glisten, reflecting the lantern light. And for a fleeting moment, the anger and hurt are softened by the bond they share, a bond that has endured trials, storms, and heartbreaks before, and now faces the ultimate test. Jack and Lou flank them, their presence grounding the scene. The sun is setting over Heartland Ranch, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Everything seems calm, but beneath the peaceful surface, tension crackles in the air. After a season filled with heartbreak, secrets, and challenges, everything comes to a head in one unforgettable moment. The final scene of Season 19 is about to unfold, and no one will leave the ranch unchanged. Every glance, every word, every decision holds the power to shake the very foundation of Heartland. Are you ready to witness the truth? The ranch looks different tonight. The rolling fields are quieter than usual, with only the distant sound of horses in the stables. There's a tension in the air, a heaviness that makes every shadow seem longer, every whisper louder. Amy stands near the barn, her hands gripping the wooden railing, her eyes scanning the horizon as if waiting for something that could change everything. Ty is pacing behind her, restless and unsure. The weight of unspoken words hangs between them, heavier than any storm that has ever rolled across Heartland in the distance. Jack's silhouette appears against the dimming sky. His usual calm, steady presence seems brittle tonight, like a vase that might shatter with the smallest touch. Lou watches from the porch, her arms crossed, her face a mask of worry and frustration. Even the wind seems to sense the tension, picking up suddenly and swirling the dust across the ranch yard, carrying a sense of foreboding. Tonight is not just any night. After everything that has happened this season, long-kept secrets, unexpected betrayals, and fragile reconciliations, the ranch is on the brink. Every character feels it, and even though no one speaks it aloud yet, the air itself whispers of changes that cannot be undone. Small movements seem amplified, a hand brushing against a fence post, soft clatter of a horse's hooves, the creak of a gate swinging open. Each sound carries weight, each glance carries meaning. Amy's mind races. Memories of the past season flash through her head, the moments of doubt, the decisions that felt impossible, the nights when the ranch seemed like it might fall apart. Ty watches her, noticing every tiny tremble, every hesitation. He wants to speak, to reassure her, but he knows the words might not be enough tonight. The past has a way of catching up with them, and Heartland has always demanded honesty, courage, and heart. Jack finally moves closer, his voice low, almost swallowed by the evening breeze. Amy, Ty. His words are deliberate, each one chosen carefully, heavy with the gravity of the situation. Lou steps down from the porch, her eyes narrowing, sensing the storm that is about to break. Even Georgie, who had been trying to stay lighthearted all season, senses the weight of this moment and stands silently beside the barn, her gaze shifting between the key players in this unfolding drama. The ranch itself seems to hold its breath. The fences, the horses, the barns, they've all been witnesses to countless trials, victories, and heartbreaks. And now they are silent spectators to the climax of a season that has tested every heart and every relationship. As the last rays of sun dip below the horizon, a hush falls over the entire ranch, and it feels as if the land itself is waiting for the truth to be revealed. Every heartbeat is amplified in this moment. Every footstep echoes like a drumbeat, signaling the approach of something monumental. This is more than just the end of a day. It's the tipping point of a season. Every character is at a crossroads, forced to confront the past, face the present, and make choices that will ripple through the lives of everyone on Heartland. And as the night approaches, the final scene begins to take shape, like a storm slowly gathering on the horizon, ready to burst in a moment that no one will forget. The night has settled over Heartland, but peace is nowhere to be found. Shadows stretch long across the fields, and the quiet is almost deafening. Inside the barn, the soft scent of hay mixes with the nervous energy of the ranch. Every character seems to carry a secret tonight, something unspoken that could change everything. Amy's hands tighten around the barn door, knuckles white, as she hears the faint creak of Ty's boots on the wooden floor. There's a pause, a moment where time feels like it's holding its breath before he finally speaks. His voice is low, carrying the weight of worry and something deeper, something unsaid. "Amy, I can't keep pretending everything's fine," Ty says, his words trembling slightly, though his eyes are fixed and determined. His gaze searches hers, desperate for a sign, a flicker of understanding. Amy swallows hard, her chest tightening, because she knows that tonight pretenses won't hold. The secrets that have hovered over Heartland like storm clouds all season are about to break. Even the horses in the nearby stalls sense it, stamping their hooves and shifting nervously, adding an almost musical rhythm to the quiet anxiety. Across the ranch, Lou and Jack stand a few paces apart, their faces shadowed in the lantern light. Lou's jaw is tight. Her mind races with scenarios she hopes never come true. Jack, usually the rock of calm, seems uncharacteristically restless, his eyes flicking from Amy and Ty to the distant hills. Something is about to happen that will test every bond, every friendship, every family tie. The ranch has always been a place of trust, honesty, and love, but tonight, those very values are on trial. Georgie steps closer, sensing the subtle shifts in the air. Her instinct to protect her family conflicts with the curiosity that has always driven her. She watches silently as Amy and Ty exchange looks filled with unspoken questions, fears, and longing. The night seems to pulse with anticipation, each second stretching longer than the last, as if the ranch itself is aware that the season's climax is arriving. Every sound, the distant howl of a coyote, the rustle of leaves, the creak of the barn feels amplified, like the soundtrack of a story that's about to reach its most critical moment. Suddenly, a letter slides from a table where no one thought it would be noticed. The paper flutters to the floor, catching the lantern light in a way that makes it glow, almost like it's signaling the truth inside. Amy hesitates, her heart pounding. She knows this is a turning point. Every secret that has been carefully hidden, every truth that has been postponed, is now threatening to spill over. The ranch has always been a place where actions speak louder than words, and tonight, the consequences of those actions are about to collide with reality. Ty steps forward, placing a steady hand on Amy's shoulder. The gesture is simple, but it carries a universe of emotion support. Love, worry, and the unspoken acknowledgement that the next few moments will define their lives. Jack and Lou inch closer, their eyes fixed on the unfolding tension. Even the wind seems to pause, holding its breath alongside them. Every glance, every movement, every heartbeat is magnified as the first hints of confrontation start to ripple through the ranch as the lanterns flicker and shadows dance across the barn walls. It becomes clear, tonight is more than a moment of reckoning. It's the night where Heartland will either be broken or strengthened. Every character must face the truths they've been avoiding, fears they've been hiding, the decisions that will determine not just the future of the ranch, but the bonds that hold them all together. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the first stirrings of the final storm of Season 19 are beginning to shake the very heart of Heartland. A hush settles over Heartland Ranch, but it's the kind of silence that feels heavy, almost alive. The moon has risen, casting a soft silver glow over the fields, illuminating the edges of fences and barns in ghostly light. The air is cool, but it carries a tension so thick it almost vibrates. Tonight isn't just another evening. It's the night when everything that has been hidden, ignored, or postponed this season will finally come to light. Every character seems to sense it, moving cautiously, speaking softly, As if louder words might shatter the fragile balance they are trying to maintain, Amy stands near the paddock, her eyes drawn to the silhouette of a horse against the moonlight. The animal moves gracefully, unaware of the emotional turbulence surrounding it, yet its calmness contrasts sharply with the turmoil building inside her. Her thoughts are racing. Every decision she has made this season, every choice, every compromise has led to this exact moment. And now, she realizes that nothing can remain the same. Ty is nearby, leaning against the fence, his arms crossed but his body tense. His face is unreadable at first, but his eyes betray worry, fear, and determination all at once. He knows that soon, words will be exchanged that could change the course of their lives forever. Jack approaches slowly, the crunch of gravel under his boots breaking the silence like a single sharp note in an otherwise quiet song. His presence feels heavy, commanding attention without effort. Lou follows behind him, her expression guarded, her lips pressed into a thin line. She's seen too much over the years to be fooled by appearances, and tonight she senses that nothing will be simple. Even Georgie, usually lighthearted and cheerful, walks quietly, almost tiptoeing through the tension. Her eyes are wide with anticipation, and she instinctively knows that whatever happens in the next few moments will echo through the ranch for years to come. The barn doors creak open, letting in a sliver of moonlight that dances across the wooden floor. Shadows stretch and twist, creating patterns that seem almost alive. The ranch itself feels like a character in this scene, watching, waiting, aware that it is a witness too. The first real confrontation comes when Amy slowly, deliberately, speaks the question that has been building inside her: who knew? And why did no one tell me? Her voice is steady now, more powerful, filled with a mix of hurt and resolve. The silence that follows is deafening, as if the barn itself is waiting for someone to answer, for someone to step into honesty. Ty swallows hard, and then, with every ounce of honesty he can muster, he begins to explain. Words spill carefully, truth after truth, revealing choices made with good intentions but flawed execution. Each revelation lands like a weight, yet also begins to lift the heavy tension that has shadowed the ranch for weeks. Amy listens, tears slipping down her cheeks. As the reality of the season converges in this single, charged moment, the barn seems to pulse with her emotions, the creak of the wood, the soft shuffle of hooves, the distant rustle of leaves outside, all echo the emotional storm within. Ty reaches out, his hand gently brushing hers. The touch is quiet, small, but it speaks volumes. It says, "We can survive this. We will survive this together." Jack steps forward, placing a steadying hand on Amy's shoulder. Lou's voice softens further as she speaks words that feel like a balm on raw wounds. Heartland has always been about family, no matter how messy things get. Tonight is no different. Georgie, emboldened by the adult's courage, steps closer. Her presence a reminder that love and family extend beyond mistakes and secrets. The energy in the barn shifts. The storm has not fully passed, but the first rays of reconciliation begin to shine through the tension. The climax doesn't end with resolution, but with a choice. Amy looks at Ty, then at her family, then back at the letter in her hands. The decision she is about to make will ripple through the ranch, affecting everyone she loves. Every heartbeat feels monumental, every breath charged with anticipation. The barn, the horses, the wind, the night sky all bear witness to a pivotal moment that defines not just the end of Season 19, but the enduring spirit of Heartland itself. The tension is electric, the stakes impossibly high, and the emotional power of this scene is undeniable, a perfect crescendo. Before the final resolution, the storm of emotions that had gripped Heartland finally begins to settle. Amy lowers the letter, her fingers trembling, but her expression softer, clearer. The hurt is still there, a sharp reminder of the truths revealed, but it no longer dominates the moment. She looks at Ty, seeing in his eyes a reflection of her own fear, regret, and hope. Slowly, almost hesitantly, she allows a small, steadying smile to form a gesture that says, without words, that they will face whatever comes next together. The barn, once heavy with tension, now feels lighter. as if the land itself breathes a sigh of relief. Ty steps forward, taking Amy's hand in his. Their fingers intertwine, a quiet promise that no secret, no mistake, and no heartbreak can sever the bond they share. The gesture is simple but monumental, a visual cue of love, understanding, and forgiveness. Jack and Lou exchange glances, both relieved and proud to see Amy and Ty choosing connection over conflict. Even Georgie, standing nearby, allows a small smile, sensing that the family's resilience has held strong despite the storm. Outside, the ranch mirrors this shift. The moonlight spreads evenly across the fields, silver and calm, reflecting the peace returning to the land. The horses graze quietly in the paddocks, untroubled, a serene counterpoint to the intensity that had filled the barn. The fences, barns, and rolling hills stand steadfast, silent witnesses to the resolution of yet another chapter in Heartland's long story. Everything seems in harmony now, as if the ranch itself is acknowledging that, despite the trials, love, honesty, and family endure. Amy turns to her family, her voice soft but firm. "We'll face this together, no matter what." The words hang in the barn, carrying a sense of closure and renewed commitment. Lou steps closer, gently placing a hand on Amy's shoulder. "We always do," she says, and the warmth in her tone eases the last lingering tension. Jack nods, his eyes reflecting pride and love. Georgie moves forward to stand beside Amy and Ty, a subtle reminder that family is not just the adult sits the younger generation too, learning resilience, courage, and forgiveness. Ty squeezes Amy's hand, his eyes bright with emotion. "We've survived so much this season, and tonight shows what we're capable of when we face the truth." The simplicity of his words belies the depth of feeling behind them. This is more than reconciliation. It's a declaration that Heartland's core family, trust, and enduring love remains unbroken. Every character present feels the weight of that truth, and the quiet relief of surviving the storm together. The final moments are peaceful yet profound. Amy and Ty stand together in the moonlight, hands clasped, their silhouettes framed by the barn doors. Jack and Lou remain nearby, guardians of the family and the ranch, a reminder of guidance and support through every challenge. Georgie's small but confident presence adds a spark of hope for the future. The camera pans slowly over the ranch, the fences, fields, and horses bathed in silver light as a feeling of calm and possibility settles over Heartland. The final scene ends not with dramatic shouting or tears, but with quiet strength, love, and unity. The emotional storm has passed, leaving a sense of hope, resilience, and promise for the future. Heartland Season 19 closes this chapter, reminding viewers that no matter the struggles, families endure, love persists, and the heart of the ranch beats strong. The screen fades to black, with the faint sound of wind through the trees and horses softly, Nainga gentle. A perfect conclusion to a season full of trials, truths, and triumphs.